Hey guys, hello and welcome to a new episode of Behind the Scenes of Inspired Eye. This is issue 48 and I'm joined with Don. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Olivier. How are you?
Doing great. Oh man, perfect accent with my name.
Yeah, I know. Ooh.
So let's see about this cover, man. This guy is Damir. He's actually a really, really great shooter, man. Like he has a classic and modern eye at the same time.
Right.
Beautiful light. Beautiful
Yeah,
light.
it's real nice. Real nice. The placement of Inspired Eye is real nice up on the top end, so I like it.
Mm.
Yeah, real nice. Very good. Very nice photo. A lot of good people in this issue. There's good people in every issue, but I get inspired, by what I see from the shooters in the issue. I love that shot, man. I just
Sorry, let me go back. Okay, first
yeah.
shot. This one or
Yeah, no, no, yeah, of course, I like Jerry's work, all of it, but that next shot, that's beautiful too. But
let's put
the
it.
next one, there was a movie back in the day, it was called To Serve with Love with Sidney Poitier. And anybody my age or in that age group knows that film. And this blonde looks just like the girl from here. She has that classic 70s British look. The other girl does too. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the blonde. That's when I saw this photo. It just like took me right back to that time and place, even though it's not from that time and place. But it just took me there. So Jerry's got that. Jerry's got the sensitivity and the selectiveness that when he's making photos, the catalyst for the photos is met on the outside from what he's feeling on the inside. And that's a rare trait. I mean, it happens. It does happen, a lot to people, but maybe they're not aware of it. Most people, the catalyst for the photo is on the outside, and then it triggers something on the inside that makes you release. Jerry's not working that way. Jerry is feeling himself. He's feeling his life. He sees things that reflect or trigger something, and then he makes the photo. And this is living proof of that.
Mhm. I don't know that movie you're talking about. Not my generation, but
You're about 15 generations behind, dude.
uh, we can already see this guy already. Like Jerry loves the eye contact. Nothing
Oh,
wrong with
yeah.
that, of course, but we can
Oh,
see the eye
great.
contact.
He's got that. He really has that. He's got that British. I don't know. It's just that certain way that they work, that they see. It's
Mm,
just kind of magical. I don't like to. I mean, they like everything to be proper. The
mm,
Queen's English, everything is proper, but they are proper photos in a very relaxed manner. You know what I mean?
mm.
So,
Speaking of that, this is not a movie reference, but what's this guy's name again? He was a painter on, I think it was for PBS, and like Happy Little Clouds was this guy's name again. Oh,
Peter Max.
no, no, no. What's this guy's name again? He used to like it's kind of a late show. Gosh, what's his name? Let me Google it really quickly because this his name escapes me. So basically, this guy is he's painting on late. I think it is like on PBS, and it's basically showing you how to paint. Kind of a Bob Ross. You don't know Bob
Oh
Ross?
yeah. I
That's
mean, oh yeah. Oh, I'm not going to remember the name. I know who you mean.
that's Bob Ross, man. Oh, the Happy Little Clouds and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I dig like you said, the kind of relaxed type, and this guy
yeah.
here really dynamic because there's just pushing you out of the frame,
And brings you right
and
back in too. It's
mm,
great.
yeah, and it's a portrait of this guy, but also a portrait of this guy with his environment.
Yeah,
All sorts of, especially this guy's tattoos here.
yeah, it's nice. That's great. Great shot.
Well, just like before, said like it's a portrait of this guy, but also of his environment. No smoking. This guy smoking. What does that tell you about this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like an oxymoron. It's a great juxtaposition, and the juxtaposition itself is an oxymoron. You know what I mean? No smoking, any smoking. It's just, yeah. I mean, it's the whole thing is, well, it's just perfect. A lot of these, I love that one on the left, man. He's
Mm,
got that. I don't know. I mean, you don't see people like this in America anymore.
mm,
I like maybe you do some places. I remember my ex nephew used to run around like the guy on the left. He was a great guy. His name was Mike. He's a great guy. He's a great chef and stuff. But he had this whole pop culture scene going on.
mm.
It's just nice to see the way Jerry handles it. There's a certain, like the photo on the right, it's not just the eye contact that's not there. And in essence, it really is, but it's not, but there's a movement with their heads and their bodies looking in opposite directions. There's a very delicate, elegant,
very delicate, yeah,
movement.
Very delicate,
real nice,
very delicate movement, yeah. But speaking of, like, if we look back, this guy's the eye contact, we can see it in every frame except for the one here on the right. But it really quickly, man, the sister came, I'm in Jeju, Korea. She came, and man, my sister, first of all, she looks like a child. She's older than me, but she looks young, and And the thing, man, it's like there's sometimes I swore that she would get yelled at. Even I wouldn't dare point the camera that close to somebody. But I was sure she was gonna get yelled at. It's like no. It's like everybody let her do it. And it got me thinking of, like, of course your subjects react to you too, but it's like there's some shots I just wouldn't be able to get because I'm not her. I don't have that face, like all nice face, because, and she's like, I'm like, why do you think people let you take their picture? It's like, oh, because I look like a kid and I'm a girl. I'm like, yes, that is exactly right. But these guys, it's like, I'm also seeing the photographer in them. And I think that's what you were saying in the first shot.
Yeah.
It's like you're seeing their reaction to the photographer. Now, you're the viewer, of course, but it's also a reaction to the photographer. And I think this guy probably has a certain presence to him, if you see what I mean. That's why I see all those shots up until basically now.
What he has is a highly developed sense of timing. I mean, it's not, these are not haphazard fractions of a moment in time. These are very complex, decisive moments, because a fraction of a second before or a fraction of a second after this, and that guy's mouth is not going to be like that. It's just not. That's all there is to it. And that girl looking down, if she was looking dead in the camera, the photo would not be as strong as it is now, because that creates a beautiful juxtaposition of eye contact and not eye contact. You know what I mean? So it works really, really well. But even go back to the last frame of those two guys. That one on the right. I think that the majority of people would not have released the shutters there. That is the frame. That's the photo. Not because Jerry made it, but because that's the photo and he saw it and felt it and made it. But most people would wait another fraction of a second or a second for them to look or something like that, because I want eye contact. Well, sometimes less is more, and this is the perfect example.
And if you would, like, make a cross with these frames, man, like his eyes go, like, they basically complement this angle there and this guy too. So it's really powerful. Yeah. Like, if you look at the cross that's in the middle, like a invisible cross, X in the middle.
I took that workshop thing from those guys, made the Inspired Eye workshop, and I learned about that in the workshop.
Look at that, man. You pushing your course on people, man. No,
I'm not pushing nothing.
That's where the most detailed information we have. It's on the compositions in the course. When I did see this picture, man, it was like that's a stunning image, man. This portrait.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What are you looking for first in someone? It's the eyes, and this is the one thing he doesn't let you have. It's like weird.
And they're rolled back,
Mm-hmm. And like there is no second chance. A very dark image. Very dark image,
It's great. It's almost like the Lord's calling him. Say, dude,
boom.
Well, you're not done, but your time is over. Time to come home. Let's go. Which is another conversation altogether that I won't get into now. We'll just talk about
very cloudy imagery on the right too.
It's great. The depth of field is just perfect. Just perfect.
Probably my favorite image of him. He has some great ones.
Jerry's a really strong shooter, man. Very strong shooter, dude.
And look at that angle. Like, again, if you look at that cross that's here, look at that angle. It's perfectly on the angle. It's very like you said, it looks like not really looks, but it feels haphazard, but it's actually not. There's some unconscious thought that went to it. If you look at it here, it's very oblique, and those grapes, man.
Well, it's the perfect photo of femininity. You know what I mean? Unobscured and unblocked femininity. And you got that beautiful light, like from the angels shining down on her, and she's eating the grapes of love. You know, not the grapes of wrath, but the grapes of love. Yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful woman and a great photo. He did such a great job, you know, with the stars and all. It's just beautiful. I mean, I don't think. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I like it, and maybe it's even if I did make that photo, I certainly would not have printed it like that. I would have completely altered the printing. But and I would have been wrong, and I'm not afraid to admit it because he did it just perfect. It's almost like that light is emanating from her head, parted between the hair, the clumps of hair on the right and the left. It's almost like the light is coming out of her, not going into her, but coming out of her. The radiance is just beautiful, man.
See that I like the fact that he could make a dark one. That would be something I would do, but this. Probably not, but that's where high key basically works real well.
Yeah. You know, the thing with Jerry, which I found really interesting, like I said before, is that we have a lot of people that come out of New York, you know, like, you know, Manhattan, a lot of shooters in the group and have been published in a magazine. And it's not like a tag in the photos that reads New York City. It's not a tag, but but every place in the world has a certain spice they use in their photos. Maybe they don't want to admit to it, but I see it because I'm doing so much editing. There's a certain spice. It's not the same spice, but there's a certain spice in each one. The thing with Jerry is he's got a British spice in New York. That's what trips me out, and that's what really threw me for a loop. Because you don't see photos. He's making photos. He's making British photos, but he's doing it in New York. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he does go to Britain back and forth, but he's got that you know Tony Ray Jones feeling to his work and stuff like, kind of like an offbeat Bill Brandt, but he's you know basically in Manhattan. You know, so it's just between the two places. He's developed a really very unique style and a very unique set of sensibilities to work with. I like it.
Where's what do you find British in his images? I'm just curious.
I think it's the freedom. It's the freedom to make the photo. It's unobstructed. I think that it's. I don't want to get into politics, but it is politics. It's not. You're not making the photo because of politics. You know. But like I said, you have a certain spice in your work. There's, you know, like everybody has. Look, we all have a camera. We have Lightroom or something similar. Computers, you know. We have the sun, the sky, the darkness, the moon. We have all that. We have people, human beings, basically the same around the world. What makes things different is the spice that you have in your life and your work. And that spice is flavored. It's tinted by the political system, the political contribution, not wanted but in your work, but you have no choice, it's accepted. So like, you know, things that are going on around the world, especially in the world that you're in, you know, they affect you. Like the president, Russia, North Korea, especially you, and all this other stuff. That's all the spice that makes up your work. Jerry has that in his work, but he rises above it. I mean, look at this photo. I mean, the whole time we've been working together, I've seen very few photos with the freedom that this one has. I mean, there's no agenda. There's not the spice. There's no agenda to the spice. It's just he made the photo because he felt it. This is how he felt inside, and he made the photo. And most people, you know, and most people would see her. And this is the truth. Most people would see her with jaded eyes because inside your eye, heart, and your mind, you're jaded and clouded by the bull crap on the outside. And the idea of a good photographer is to erase that as much as possible, or at least let it go sublime so it's not affecting your work. And that's what he does in his work. That's what I think. So he has that openness, you know. It's like, and that's not in the United States. I don't think there's too many shooters in the United States that can claim to that. But in Britain, there is, because the Britain have a sense that there'll be another day. There will be a tomorrow. They have that sense. And in America, and they stand with that. There's going to be another day. There's going to be another tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that. In America, it's like, oh my God, there's going to be another day like this. That's the difference, and that's politics. There's a real big difference. Jerry's work does not reflect that. He reflects. There's going to be another day, and I'm going to be for it, and I'm going to be with my camera in my hand. I love his work, man. It just trips me. He's not the only one on the issue I love, but look, what can I say? I just love his work. He's got that freedom of eye, heart, and mind.
Oh, good exposition, I think.
Oh yeah, these are like perfect, man. It's just perfect.
The ones of his I really like are actually those, because there's some dynamic. I like if you look at this one, like I own you. Look at that embrace. You're mine.
Yeah.
And this one is the opposite. Like you're mine.
Yeah, right.
And this one, like, it's a very, like, can I say feminine pause or something? It's like he feels protected and nice, and she's the one that's protecting him.
Yeah.
She's smoking. Nothing wrong with women smoking, but usually associated with a male thing. I mean, look at the Marlboro Man. It's not the Marlboro woman. It's Marlboro Man.
Yeah.
And this guy here almost like defensive, protecting her, and she likes it too.
Yeah.
So really, really good dynamic on both of them. Really killer dynamic. And
but that's what I was saying about he has that freedom in his work. You know what I mean? It's not it's the ability to rise above when your camera's in your hand. That is so difficult. I mean, look, anybody could walk by and see this and click the shutter and make a photo. It's not going to work like this, because even though on the left photo, even though she has eye contact with you, there's more. It's not just eye contact. She's in. Her eyes have penetrated you. You know what I mean? They have penetrated your thoughts and your mind. You know what I mean? Not just looking at you, but she's looking through you when you're making that photo.
Both of them are challenging too.
Oh yeah, that's great. He's got a great exhibition going here, man. Perfect, man.
And something different, Jean-Philippe Labourlette.
Oh, you can do the pronunciations.
Labourlette. Okay.
Yeah.
This one is really great though. The processing. That's something that, like, I guess we would do more than the previous guy.
Well, there's a difference. That's technique, dude. Yeah. That is tech. That's what makes things individual. It's the spice. That's what I'm saying. That's the spice in the work. You know what I mean?
I love the open-endedness of the image, and there's like a big boulder here.
I love the way he has the burqa on the woman, and then on the coach too is like a burqa. Yeah. It's just I mean, I get very offended, very, very offended by the burqa, not the burqa. I think they have the right to wear that, and this proves it. You know what I mean? I get offended when people say Muslims should be out of the country and stuff like that. I'm very offended as an American. They have the right to be here, and I protect them. And I've already done it when the public transportation stood up. You know what I mean? But there's a beauty he captured here, kind of like not the hereafter or anything, because he got this like wall in front of her. It was like stopping you from going through life or something. It's
contemplative image I see. All right, some really good placement here. Actually, a lot of stuff going on. Composition-wise, like frame within a frame. First of all, this kid here, and he lighting his face up. He's looking right, so it's pushing a little bit right, and on the right, there's this thing pushing back there. The lines, this guy, this cross-shaped thing here. Some really great eye travel on this one. Very strong positionally.
Oh, I love it. I love the wall and everything on the right. Figure lighting on the right. Beautiful.
It's very, the wall is very, like, it's a character by itself. I mean, it's a portrait of the wall, too.
Yeah. He's in Switzerland, and this has his work has a very strong French, flavor to it, Real nice.
Yeah, like the contrast between the two things here.
Yeah, I'm not going to say. I said that he had a French influence. You know, I'm not going to say any more than that.
His French influence starts with H, and
Well, I don't
it's
mind
and
saying Bresson. You know, I
yeah,
mean,
there you go.
I don't mind saying. I
Yeah,
was just
no,
thinking
good.
of Bresson. That's not
Mm-hmm.
who I was thinking of. I was
Uh,
thinking of Jacques Jumon, the barbershop on 42nd. No, I'm kidding. Kid. That's I loved his shot, man.
yeah,
I would like to have a print of this. Absolutely, I don't know what it is. It just captivates me. I love this photo.
yeah.
Absolutely captivating. Just
I think first of all, it's like the depth he made. Like it's probably he lightened this area, so there's like great depth, and it's like those textures, man. You almost can't touch it and lick it. It's
yeah,
so nice. Yeah.
yeah,
And also, D's are usually associated with, being nice and soft, and
yeah.
look at contrast that with the background. Looks
Right.
rough. Yeah.
And then the other groups all around. There's
Mm,
groups all around. I just love this. Just love that captivates me.
yeah.
Yeah, that shot on the left is a classic. It's
Hmm.
absolutely a classic
Great
photo.
placement. Great
Yeah,
placement.
it's absolutely on the left and the right. It's absolutely a classic photo, and it's
Mm.
definitely going to be, that'll make it into the annals of history. That photo. That's an amazing photograph. Very amazing photograph.
Dig this one where she looks like out of focus, thinking
Yeah,
about life and stuff.
yeah,
Great placement of the background of her, but, just being out of it, and it's really
right.
great.
Yeah, that's real nice. Yeah,
So this probably context is needed. That's actually the ex-fresh French president.
right.
So, her face hidden, and
Yeah.
you just make the story that you want with that.
Is that the mistress or
No, it's like whoever, I guess, taking a selfie. That's probably a modern thing.
that's the
Don't,
mistress from Apple saying, "You will do what we want you to do."
there's there's this great image of I don't know who shot it, but basically I think it was, you see a whole bunch of fans, and it's they're waiting for Johnny Depp, and absolutely every single person in that crowd has a phone or a camera trying to basically take a picture of
Yeah,
the celebrity that's coming. And you see this old grandma, she's the only one actually taking in the moment and breathing
yeah,
in. So
yeah.
that's a great shot of I think this kind of resonates with that too. you
Oh
know
yeah.
it's like
He's
if
a
you see a
very
celebrity,
strong
you
shooter.
want that, you want that proof or something like that, photographic proof.
Yep, no doubt. Beautiful, man. That's
Almost.
that's amazing. That's a classic. That's just most people will go by. The thing is June is very very smart, very tuned into what he's doing because black and white is obviously his forte because he really knows how
Hmm.
to get placement and tone.
Hmm.
But this photo in black and white would be a photo of every other homeless person in black and
Hmm.
white. But using the color, and then you got the red in that bag, and then
The
on the
red.
two shirts, you know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
drawing the eye travel and the way he did it, just
Hmm.
perfect. And this would not be anything near it is now if it was in black and white. This is the perfect color photograph.
And
Perfect,
he's red
perfect
too.
reason to
Like
use color.
he's a bit red too. And what I
Yeah,
like is he's I mean, he's pointing towards the trash. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And of course,
that's,
contrasts, H&M, Champs Elysees,
yeah,
fancy stuff.
yeah. That's right. This is nice too, man.
Mhm.
He's a really strong shot. I love all his work, man. Look at this.
Yeah.
Great.
I dig this one. It's like that. Like you would think it's like a landscape, and then you see this guy,
Yeah,
just like completely lost, literally, in the whole thing.
that's the
Really crazy
idea.
white thing. Really white, crazy, just like leads your eye there. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
that's the idea. The man and the environment. The
Mm.
environment's always going to win.
And on the left, you're gonna say, "I like this shot because it's about life, and I like seeing life." Correct?
Well, I mean, I think they flew there real fast, from Philadelphia, because that's a mummers thing right there.
Yeah,
And
really.
we do send people around the world so that they can celebrate the turn of the year. So they're all hidden native Philadelphians, but you don't know that. See?
Mm. And the one on the right, it's like you really pushing the color makes it really great because it's like it flattens it and looks like well, it's a 2D image, but it looks 2D, and some really great eye travel here. Look at that pole, this
Yeah.
thing here, and very angular.
Yeah, eye
But
travel is everything. I mean, but the eye travel in here is
squished.
particularly strong. I mean, it's very relaxed, subdued eye travel because you can just go through, see the subject, and go through. And that's
Mm,
because of the color, not because it would be in black and white. Completely
mm,
different, you know. He's a really good person for people to study when they want to see an actual difference in the way a person responds and feels and thinks on their work. And you look at his black and white work and look at his color work, you're going to see that.
mm. Let's go to Spiral.
Yes, Spiro. Yeah,
Spiro.
yeah, yeah. I like Spiro. It, we got it off to a rough start, but he's a really good guy, very receptive to the ideas. That we talked about. We were very receptive and stuff. And his work, I just when I saw his work, I just said, "You're going to be in the magazine, dude. You don't know it yet. You might not like it, but you're going to be in. I like your work." He's a really strong shooter. He's got a really classic sense of
Mm,
timing. You know.
mm. What I do like with him is like the sense of like nothing's specifically defined. Look at this guy; he's not defined.
Right.
He's blurry. Look at this guy. He's like out of focus. It's like in a mirror. Here you have no idea what's going on. Those kind of mysterious images. So
That's the
kind of
idea.
resonate.
Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, this is all from the inside of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's got a really very interesting set of sensibilities and timing and framing. Really nice. I mean, that both of these shots, that one on the left is like, I mean, it's 10 million people walk by and never click that shutter, but there's something about. I mean, maybe people will look at it and think it's like a death-ridden photo, like you're looking at something died or death or something. I see it the opposite. I see that as signs of life. You know what I mean?
Well, I see time
Signs.
passing. That's what I see. Like there was evidence of somebody was there.
Yeah,
If there wasn't that, which is plastic, and plastic is the one thing that that will not like biodegradable or something.
yeah.
So
Not for like a million years or something. We're just
yeah.
going to all be here when we're all gone.
So it's like it's all in. It's kind of violent, if you look at the shapes of how this thing has been like, it's literally
Yeah,
been ripped off. You know what I mean?
that's the
So,
idea. That's what I mean by life. Life
yeah.
is not gentle. It's soft. Life itself is violent. You know what I mean?
But but the one thing that struck me on the right is like it's a very Japanese image, isn't it? Like that very Japanese sensibility. That's what I found on the image of on the right.
Yeah,
The way it's out of focus and those leaves, very Japanese poetic. That's what I found
yeah.
with this one.
Well, it's the he plays with a couple different. He uses juxtaposition in a couple different ways. I mean, one is the
Mm,
focus and out of focus and in focus, and
mm,
then you have the detail.
mm,
Besides tones and everything. So he's really onto what he's doing. He's really tuned into his work. That's what I really like about it. He's not like, I mean, of course he's experimenting. We all experiment, but
mm.
he can anticipate a result to know when to release that shutter for the desired result.
Look at that tight framing, man.
Oh
Real
yeah,
tight,
oh
real
yeah,
tight.
it's nice. I like it. That's a great
Yeah,
shot. It's a
yeah.
great,
Great juxtaposition there. I mean,
they're
both of
great,
them look depressed, and look at this here.
great shot, man. Great photo. Man. These are nice too.
Hmm.
All nice.
And nobody's defined in his images. So I do like what I like most with him is like the consistency, subject matter consistency, but also like overall style.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
way he shoots and stuff.
Oh
This one's
yeah,
probably
the bottom.
lots of things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a that's the new generation, the new work. You know what I mean?
Lots of things going on, like with
Yeah.
those things there in the arrow. And we have, man, those names, Rio. I don't know
Yeah,
what to say.
yeah,
Baba.
yeah. He'll know who it is.
Yep. This image is like killer. That
Oh yeah, you kidding?
it's beautiful color. The way he framed it, but also like the light coming from the back is just great. Very ironically balanced image. You know, it's kind of ballsy putting him right in the middle, but it works, especially because of the balances.
Well, you know what really is a subtle juxtaposition is that he's carrying these boxes. You know, I mean, obviously they're heavier, balanced on his shoulder. Very Asian thing to do, and I don't know how they do it. But a little 92-year-old woman can carry a Mack truck on her shoulder. You know what I mean? But the truck on the left is what creates the visual tension. Now, if that truck was not there, it would be a guy walking across the street. But the truck,
Very green.
yeah, it symbolizes carrying freight and stuff like that. Then here he is on his own. You know what I mean? So that's a really good play right there.
Really cool how this just comes right in and just boom.
Yeah.
You know, gives you
That's
this
nice.
guy.
Like he's got some interesting photos coming up.
Yeah, like this one with the smoke, really great, stylish.
Yeah, I got to tell. I got to be honest. You know, like I was going through the selection of the work. You know, I did the questions for him, and I was going through the selection of photos. And for the next couple of days, I was out shooting color.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get back into color. I got to get back into color. You know.
You know, it's one thing I did realize, like doing a lot of behind the scenes and stuff is like, oh man, color's not that bad. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
that's right. Yeah.
because a lot of guys are doing like showing you what's possible in color. I'm like, ooh, I should try it too. You know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's something about it that you know it's been growing in me. You know, for a couple of years. Really, I mean, I've been shooting some very little color. You know, but I do it when I get one that works. I really like it. You know, these are nice moments. You know.
Very, very classic image on the left.
Yeah, sure. I love
Some nice movement with like going right from here, going all the way up there, and look at that arrow.
Yeah.
It's pointing up.
Oh yeah, to the light. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's
Windows.
circle to windows.
Yeah,
Repeated.
it's real nice. All very nice. The one on the right is real strong too.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
You know-
a moment observed, you know what I mean? So, you know, I just think that's very important in a photographer. I mean, well, I don't want to talk about what I'm doing, but a moment observed, which is like a memory, you know? Look at that. Whew.
Some killer light there, man.
Oh.
Killer light. And I think it's very subtle, but there's some juxtaposition in there that's actually this
yeah.
guy's getting his hair cut and he's kind of bald, so I don't know if he put the baldness in or
I
something.
know, that's what
And-
I thought.
And another juxtaposition there. You know, it's like, it looks like a tough guy and stuff. It's like, oh, look, flower, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Beautiful. I love the way you can't really see his eyes, that they're just implied.
This one,
The eyes,
mhm.
well, no,
Both
I
of
mean
them.
on the right.
Right?
The eyes, they're there, they're implied, but you can't really see. If he printed those out where you had more detail, they wouldn't be as strong because they draw you in like that. You can't. I can't. I don't know. I must be for anybody else. I look at that photo. My eyes don't go anywhere. They go to his eyes, and they're not allowed to leave. Yes, sir. I'm there. You know.
Oh, yeah, he totally like darkened the area so that he locks you in those
Yeah.
that area. Same
Yeah,
thing there.
that's okay. That's all technique. You know what I mean? You should do that. People that don't do that are just missing what's inside them. You have to know to burn and dodge and stuff. That's basic to photography, cropping and stuff.
There's this here, man. It's like the texture is like palpable. Like this guy, you know, just textures like to wrinkles to fold in the clothes and also here, you know, real great.
Absolutely.
And this one's the opposite. No wrinkles, but very beautiful, very graceful. Even though, you know, I'll argue smoking is not graceful, but it is graceful. Graceful.
With that middle finger,
It is,
oh yeah,
yeah.
like, that's implied too. Yeah, that's pretty good. That works so well. It makes the cross, you know.
Here's some shape studies, basically.
Oh yeah, they're nice though. That's a good moment. Very good spiritual moment. Look at this one, man.
Yeah, this one's like, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
this is he he doesn't realize it probably because he doesn't know who I'm talking about, but maybe he does. This is a classic George Krause approach to a photograph. I mean, I love George. I love George's work. I think he's one of the all-time masters of photography, not just current. You know, I don't think he's even working anymore. I'm not sure, but his work is outstanding. It's one of the biggest influences on me. And this reminds me of George Krause. I'm not saying he copied George Krause. I'm just saying that this reads like a George Krause, which, believe me, which is a very high honor. For me to tell someone that their work reminds me of George Krause is like saying Weston, Stieglitz, Strand, Steichen. That's what it means.
Well, you never said that my work looks like George Krause's.
No, but I said it reminded me and very similar to Eugene Smith. I'll say that right now. Your work is very, very strong like Eugene Smith.
That's my BFF. Anyways,
you can send me a check at the end of the program.
Yes. But if you look at this, okay. First, why do you say that, George Krause? And well, you guys should check out his work. It is actually amazing.
It's amazing. He's like one of the most amazing shooters there ever was.
So why do you say that?
And his printing,
the printing, I would see that.
He's one of the best printers of all time. He's absolutely an amazing printer. His photographs just striking. And I learned, I just learned a lot from his work, just from going through it. But it's just the magic of the moment. Like everybody goes out and you look for the decisive moment, and you look for that and you try to find and photograph it. And George doesn't go out and look for the moment. George is the moment, and this photo is the moment. This is a memory of the moment right here. Absolutely perfect.
Just composition wise, it's like, first of all, repeated elements just candy for your brain. But look at this triangle, man. It's like powerful dynamic. The kid looking around there, this man supporting it, and it's like this I don't know what it is, but triangle, very powerful triangle. And of course the shape of the photograph is rectangle, there's triangle, and there's a whole bunch of circles. And the one thing that reminds me of George Krause, for me, would be the printing. Like especially this area. It's like slightly stone. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, George knows how to capture your eye, man. He's. I mean, there's a lot of really good printers out there that have gotten acclaim for being like Todd Papageorge and stuff, and they're all excellent paper printers. But what you got to realize is that Rio did this digitally, the digital photograph. And, just real fast to clear something up, you could take your Leica or your Pentax or Minolta and go out there and shoot Tri-X and everything. And it's analog. And then when you scan it to make it into a file to put on the computer, it's digital. I don't care what you did, it's digital. The thing is that George did things like this and better with film and with paper. And that's what is striking. It's like, what? So, I remember back in the 70s saying, damn, he's not even using Lightroom. Look at this. He's just working. He's not even using Lightroom.
It's something I find amusing, especially, there's always film snobs, and, sometimes they kind of annoy me. And I'm like, dude, you're going to shoot film, and then you're going to make a digital image out of it. What do you think scanning is? You know what I mean? And that usually closes the conversation really quickly.
Right.
Let's get to Demir, man. This guy's he's something. I mean, his work for me just bridges kind of. It's classic, but at the same time old school. I mean, he got it down. Beautiful. Very expressive. I mean, look at that. That should be like in a magazine, Vogue magazine or something. Just wonderful.
Well, maybe it will be in time. Give the guy a chance.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, let me go back. There we go.
Yeah, it's nice.
I see emptiness in this image. Like the cracks in the. It's like almost I see a fatalistic image. That's what I see actually. You're building your castle, and you're still gonna go down, and even if you don't go down, everything is cracking down.
It's the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
The
and
aftermath of beauty.
beautiful like grain there.
Right.
You know,
That's nice.
yeah. Look at
Yeah,
this
it's great.
little.
Yeah, a little bear, just
Mm,
enjoy, joy to the world,
yippee.
Yeah,
This.
yippee. I got my liking today. Yippee.
So you can see
Yeah,
some of his images, juxtaposition. What I like with this one is like, look at this arrow on the right, just pushing there.
yeah, right. That's
You know,
important.
mm,
Yeah, you need that tension, visual tension. Without that, the photos don't work. And
really
that's
crazy.
got to
It's,
have that. You got to have, irritants and visual tension for the photo to work. If the eye's not going out of the frame and coming back in really fast, it's not going to stay in the frame at all. So it's
look
going to
at
go right past it.
all these circles. Yeah, circle, circle, circle.
Yeah,
Look at the circle right there too. They're really good.
yeah. Timing is impeccable, man.
Hmm.
That's nice. I like that one a lot.
You
And I
know,
see that that's a daily scene for me. You know what I mean?
but see, the thing is, it's usually when this is shot, it's like you see the poor person and then everybody's like blurred and stuff. But in this day and in this case, you do not have access to the person, so it could be anybody.
Yeah,
So everybody's as anonymous, but the person on a wheelchair also is, because let's
yeah.
face it, when people pass by, they don't care
Right.
about this is a girl or this is not, or so that's what I find interesting in this one.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like this represents the passing of time and the
Mm,
breakdown of humanity, breakdown of civilization, right? Which
mm,
is you have
mm,
the people passing through time and that person sitting there needing help, needing a handout. And then what really is the irritant in the photograph that people, I hope they see that, is you see that grading on the bottom with the stones and the whatever they are, tiles,
mm,
that crumbling reinforces the crumbling of the society that this person is in,
mm,
people, because chances are a majority of people will not do anything to help that person.
mm. No, let me go back. Such a classic shooter, man. When he wants, like,
Yeah, I like it. These are
you
nice.
know,
These are very French.
yeah. And the one on the left actually reminds me of the shot of Eugene Smith. Since
Yeah,
there's a shot of Eugene Smith's kids just
first
going
photo he
there.
made. The first
Yeah,
photo he made when he came back.
yeah, when he came back, yeah.
Yeah, the kids going
Sh-
through the the forest.
Garden, yeah,
Yeah,
being like
yeah, in a circle.
mm, so
Yeah,
it's really great. And of
yeah,
course, I put those two together because look at the great
yeah. The white line.
diptych. Yeah, the
Yeah.
way the lines just meet,
So,
almost
so
makes it
on,
one
on
image.
that note, dude, we
Hmm.
have that note here, and I'm putting you on the cooking plate right now. The
Dude,
photo on the
I
left
am the
does remind us of Gene Smith, and Gene
yeah.
Smith's photo really reminds me of Gene Smith. And if
Uh,
you're working and your sensitivities are coming from Gene Smith, similar to, where's your photo like that?
um,
No, no, no.
uh,
You need to get that up and get it
oh
out.
man,
No, ain't going to happen right now, but it's going to happen because I'm not going to forget. You're going to drop Eugene Smith's name. We're going to get an
you
Olivier
know,
Duong.
for
Oh,
Gene Smith style. No, but
yeah,
speaking of G Smith, it's like the thing is, to brain sometimes is not reliable, and I'm always thinking like, what was the first shot of his I saw, and if my memory serves correctly, it is what's her name, Tomoko Uemura in her bath.
oh yeah, right.
I think that's one was one, and I didn't even dream to be a photographer back then, and I think I saw it somewhere in one of my dad's books or something. But I think that's one of the first times I saw his work. Might have influenced me. Who knows? Because influence actually kind of works in the subconscious, and I don't know about you. I don't have access to that.
No, my
But let's
brain's been on vacation for 20 years.
anyways, let's look at this guy. This is actually a killer shot. Just like you would say, it's a shot of life, and I
Yeah,
would say shot of innocence.
yeah,
Of what nonsense to do this. There's no logical. Why would you do that? But no, it's like it's fun. It's
yeah,
very airy. The whole context of the out of the city,
right.
and clouds and stuff. So this shot is really, really amazing in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Like all this stuff.
Mm.
These are beautiful.
These are a little bit more edgy, but look at
Yeah,
this beautiful ray of light. And of course, that's where the eye was, an inspired eye. That's why we had it there. But also the light on this guy's face.
yeah, it's nice. The other one's real nice too. Very,
Hmm.
very, very strong photo.
Yeah, very,
Classic.
very gothic in my opinion.
Yeah,
Very
oh,
gothic.
beautiful. Love it.
Look at the depth of like behind. It's just coming to you, and those. I mean, those lights look like Victorian era stuff. So that would be like perfect, like vampire
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yep, absolutely, man. It's nice. This is a moment we all
Mhm.
have some. That there is nice. That's real nice. No, no, not
The
that. That's nice. That's a good shot. I mean, we all been there, travelers. You know what I mean?
this one,
Yeah, yeah. But this one, there's the Gene Smith, that you need to do, something like that.
man,
That's it. That's just the classic.
did I
It's
just
just a
lose my
classic.
crown to this guy? Just kidding, just kidding.
There's no crowns, dude.
Gene
I
Smith.
mean, the thing, the funny thing is, I remember years ago, I was editing photographs for an exhibition.
Mm,
Not my work, but it was a group exhibition that had about 400 photos.
oh
And
wow.
they wanted me to write to go through it, which I did, and then to go through it and and to write something about some of the photos. And on a lot of photos, I would write down, "Oh, this reminds me of Smith so much, and this reminds me." And I got some letters back that said, "It really upsets me that you think I'm copying." I said, "I didn't say you were copying. I said it reminds me of it. You don't see that as a compliment? If someone says to you, your work really reminds me of Gene Smith, if that's not the highest goddamn compliment there is,
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
my
If you don't see that, you shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? You just shouldn't be working. What do you say? Oh, yeah, George the Plumber on Fifth Street. Your work reminds me of George the Plumber. You know what I mean? Well, maybe George the Plumber is a great photographer, but chances are no one's ever heard of him. But if I say your work reminds me of Gene Smith, not so much that it reminds, but that it reads like a Gene Smith. That's a very important, powerful statement to make on someone's work, no matter what name you say. And if people don't understand that, please do not send me work for anything, because if I see something like that and give you a compliment like that, you better understand it as a compliment. Geez,
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, but it's like I think everybody's like, especially artists, want to be original and stuff, not knowing that it came from something else, from somebody else before. Like in all the interviews, just read them. Like, okay, case on point. What's her name? The old lady, Imogen Cunningham, for example.
Yeah,
She,
sure.
she's like, hey, where do you get your inspiration from? It's like, oh, this Japanese wood, I think woodcutter, wood painter, something like that. Just so I was like, oh, that I got my inspiration from him. How to
Yeah,
pose and stuff. So
yeah,
everybody has like not only their sources, quote unquote, and also the other thing is it's like it's I mean, Gene Smith was there before all of us, and he was bigger. He was big back then, so it's like it's hard not to draw comparisons. It's just the way the human mind works. If somebody goes on the moon, it's like, oh yeah, he's like Neil Armstrong. It's like, yeah, of course, because
yeah.
Neil Armstrong was there first. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So I do take the compliment, and I like it because Gene is my guy. Also, another thing is, just because you like somebody like Gene Smith or something, doesn't mean you should, for example, carbon copy what they did because you're your own person too. Because when you say this guy reminds me of Gene and stuff, yeah, sure, but it's also his own sauce and his own take on everything. But also, a lot of these photographers, man, just because their work was good doesn't mean, you need to emulate everything they did, in the sense that, for example, Eugene Smith was obsessed with his mom, and obsessed with his work, let's face it, which is kind of a good thing, but too much, it like he lost a lot of, I think he paid too much for the price. I mean, to get where he was, his obsession and stuff. So that was
He,
just a parenthesis. Yeah.
he didn't do what he did for himself. What he did was for photographers in the future. I mean, his work is great and stuff like that. There's no doubt. But the real work, the real thing that Gene Smith did for photographers was to make it so magazines will accept your work the way you present it.
No, yeah, he
They're
was a
not going to
stickler.
crop the sides. And
Yeah, he
he
was a stickler
fought
for that.
hell and high water for that. And he got that through. Like magazines, when you send work to a magazine now, they don't crop unless they ask you or they make a suggestion. You know what I mean? That's because of him. The other thing is, if I'm saying to someone, like I said to you, all right, and I don't mind saying it here, that your work reminds me of Gene Smith, I did not say you're copying Gene Smith.
Nope.
I'm saying that what you're doing brings his work to my mind and my heart. If you don't see that as a super high compliment,
Doubted
shame.
me, man. No, but the thing is, it's also because you know him already. If you didn't know him, you'll say your work is nice. That's still a great compliment.
No, your work is not nice. It just reminds you of Gene Smith.
Oh man,
I'm kidding. Okay, guys.
damn it, my heart, man. Gene Smith.
Yeah, I know.
One thing a lot of people don't understand is like he actually cared for his subjects. Like basically, they went and they found, like, for example, to your original nurse midwife to and
Yeah.
a lot of people, and basically, yeah, this guy was a caring guy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Let's look at Johan Talents. Look at that. He has talent as in his name. Talents.
Yeah, that's right.
This image. What I like with this image is he's actually observing something I did observe, and it's like if you go to a butcher, this is like a gruesome place.
Oh, yeah.
And look at that
Horror movie stuff.
Oh yeah, horror movie. I always dream of making a horror movie, and it's like whatever we do to chickens and cows, we do to humans, and like that's the whole premise of the movie, man. And that's what I see in this here, because especially with the guts start hanging. I mean, it's undeniable there. The horror and everything is dark and out of focus. It's really, really great with the hooks, meat hooks, and I saw all kinds of horror movies, and that's what I see in this shot.
Yeah.
So it's great.
That's nice. That draws me. The mannequins, I love mannequins. I think they're beautiful, mostly female, but they're beautiful. Just stunning and beautiful. I make photos of mannequins all the time. I love that shot. That is just
Very
it's powerful. Very powerful, man. Very powerful. And the one on the right, I mean, he's got that reflection thing. Like, that draws me too. I think it draws a lot of people, but he's got it. It's like a split frame, real nice. Like 3 frames, real nice. Very cool. Very, very good stuff.
Yeah, graphical impact on the right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Plus, it's a really good selfie.
You got a bunch of those graphical impact images, like here and here, and
Yeah.
clever placement of the windmill. I guess probably not windmill, whatever that is. Around the eye.
Yeah. The one on the left, there's a really well known, should be more well known shooter that I knew for a long time. And the photo really reminds me of his work. You really should look it up. His name is Jae-Song Bak, JEHSONGBAAK, Jae-Song Bak. He's Korean. I think he's living in Paris now. But we used to be like really close, really good friends. He lived with me for over a year, long time ago. He's a really, really strong photographer. That shot is like a Jae-Song Bak or like a Ralph Gibson, similar. It's just. Man, it just takes you out, I mean, I know I make that connection, but when I make that connection, it's for a reason, and it's not diminishing anything. People say, "Oh man," he says it looks like a Ralph Gibson. You're diminishing it. No, I'm not diminishing. I'm making it more special than it actually is. You know what I mean? Adding that to it. I love that shot, man. The one on the left is just knocked out. The one on the right's great too, but the one on the left is just. The way the eyes are looking up and out, like up and out of the grave or something, of a 2-dimensional grave. Whoa!
And you have no idea. Like, it's very graphic, but you have no idea what's around either.
That's or what's going on. Yeah.
What I like with this one on the right is look at how this kind of mimics the nose shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, and then you got the eye on the right side. You got that
Almost
eye
looking
there.
at you. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, man. Absolutely. That's knocked out.
Look at the eye travel. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Knocked out. Totally knocked out. Knocked out.
And this would not work without whatever texture that is. I don't know how
Yeah.
that's even possible, but you know, it creates enough interest, and weirdly enough, it just draws your eyes to this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's real nice. Yeah, it's a real good shot. That's beautiful too. Look at that.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, with the baby. Yeah, that's great, man. Woo.
Look at those little details there. You know,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Photographers are really interesting people, man. I love the way they think and feel. Love it. That's why I do it so much. Love it. That's
But this guy, like John, is like his work resonates with me. Is like it's graphic because I like graphical images, but also, you know, it's very well composed and well thought of. Like circle, it's a very circular image here. You know, the circle. But look at all the eye travel. You know,
no, it's nice. Real strong stuff, man.
yeah.
These collages, like this here, these collage photos. I didn't know they were collages. My friend, well, we used to be friends a long time ago. That was Paul Cava, and he did a lot of collage work when he shot film. The digital wasn't even a thought yet, And he taught me about that, about doing collages and putting things together. Now, of course, this shot is just another photo, but when you see that eye on the right corner looking right at you. And, the thing is with Johann is that his placement of the important element in the photo is different than most other people's. I think most other people would like to get that eye not on the horizontal line, but on a line of the angle. But because her head is tilted on the angle, it really draws to that eye, and the eye getting lost in the shapes of the circles all around. But the thing that the numbers, it's like that's her number. Like I'm one of those the old Twilight Zone freaks. I've seen every one of the Twilight. So it's like, hi, what's your name? 2026. Oh, hi 2026. I'm 1490. It's kind of like that. And so that's what that means here to me. I know it's a super strong photo, and it'd be great as a 16 by 20 and a matte with a nice white frame. Not a black frame, a white frame. Here's the tilt again, on both sides. Really,
this one is actually graphically, it's like she's a double exposure and she's moving in in the frame. But he actually opted to include like kind of a reference that to the top of the thing.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Look at that. Hanging on the course, $89. Get out. And then the biker on the other frame.
Yeah,
in the machine. Yeah, oh man. Woo. Very strong stuff, man. Very strong. Very strong.
I actually like the one on the right. Like very strong. Like you can make a lot of meaning out of it.
Yeah, well, he already did.
Well, yeah. Well, like lots of interpretation. You see what?
Right. AB. Here's an interesting dude, man.
Yeah.
Younger guy.
It's like the one thing that came to mind was like Zen when I look at his images. I'm like, I'll look at him. It's like I feel nice. It's like it's okay. It's like everything's fine. So he has like a sense of minimalism in his images that's really great. And like this one is like really well printed, man. Look at those tones, like a dark and very beautiful.
He's basically a Leica shooter. I don't know if he uses it all the time, but he shoots Leica. So when you work with a Leica, I mean, get past the red dot, okay, and get past these are expensive cameras, Leica. So what? It's by choice. There is something about the lens that you do not get on any other camera. I don't care how good your camera is. The Leica lens is going to make a file that gives you separation like that. All right? My Fuji X Pro 2 or my X100 is not going to do that. It's not without a battle and a fight.
I don't know, man. There was one shot. I made it with the Epson RD1, and it was a simple shot of of leaves, but man, I made that shot. And it's like I've never been able to get those tones ever again. It's like it's weird, but some cameras are actually special. I do believe that, especially in a digital, the way they do things like the SRD1. That shot, I've never been able to replicate it. I've tried many cameras.
That was 10 megapixels. Is that was
No,
that
was
10?
it 6? Was something 6? I think.
Something, yeah, I don't remember. Or 8 or something. Yeah,
Mm.
I had one of those. I
No, I loved
loved
it.
it.
No, I love that
I mean,
stupid cranking thing.
yeah, you know what really turned me on? I'm gonna be honest. When
The
the top
dials.
plate of the camera, the dials.
Oh, the
It's almost
dials.
like a gas tank. It's
Yeah,
showing it.
I love the dials, and I love
Oh,
that stupid
uh,
crank. I mean, I wish I could get that crank back.
yeah, no, that camera was just amazing.
Hmm.
Oh, I loved working with it.
So he's very sim. I'm not gonna say simplistic. He's very simple in his approach. Very simple frames, and yeah, that's pretty much what I see.
Well,
Um,
go
and like,
back,
mhm,
go back for
mhm.
a second. Finish your thought, then I want to say something.
Yeah, I love the way he just frames. He makes things very simple, very airy, zen.
Well, you know what he does. It's what
Hmm.
AB does. It's really, really well.
Hmm.
He's the perfect example of less is more.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
he's looking the inverse square law. He's looking, and I guess this probably happens maybe in less than a fraction of a second. It's like, what am I responding to? Okay, what am I not responding to? And then he does as much as he can to eliminate that and just get into the phone. That's why they work, because less is more.
Hmm. And if you look compositionally, this is really trippy because look at that. There's a rectangle. That's the
Yeah,
frame. There's a rectangle
right,
here. That's a
right,
rectangle here.
right.
Rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. Very trippy.
Yeah, oh yeah,
A bit of the same thing on the here. Actually, this white space is actually part of the frame.
yeah,
It's very light, so
right.
it's really
But you can see the separation.
hmm yeah, separation. It's just
Yeah.
some weird shape that you don't expect. So this ends up being an interesting image.
Okay.
Beautiful texture work too.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
I don't want to say too much, but I think it's important that people, get outside the box. You know what I mean?
Get a Leica.
Nah, it's not about a light. I mean, a light is about the tones. The only thing a light is about is not the camera. Cameras are
Dude.
basically crap. They're still crap. Okay. The lens, you will not beat a Leica. I have the what number? What is it? I have a Leica X 113. I've had it for years. Didn't like it. It kept crashing on me and all kinds of stuff. Finally, I said I'm going to use it just because I'm going to use it.
Hmm.
And files out of that camera,
Which camera?
the Leica X, the
Oh, X.
113.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 16.3 megapixel,
Hmm.
but the files that coming out of that camera are scary good. Not one
Hmm.
camera I have a lot of cameras, you know that.
Hmm.
Not one camera I have comes close to that camera. Of course, I
Hmm.
have just so many idiosyncrasies. So it's really not about the camera; it's about the lenses. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Of course, old Leica guys say, "Oh, I am." I tell you, well, yeah, of course it's a good camera, and they do work great. But you can take a Leica lens, and put it on Fuji, and you're going to
Hmm.
get a similar result because it's that damn good. It's really the
Hmm.
lens, and what makes the lens better. Look, and I remember I had to go to New Jersey to pick up a body.
Hmm.
An M4 body was getting repaired by Ernie at Leica, and he told me to come up and get it instead of shipping it because it would take a week back then. So I drove up to New Jersey, and we were talking. We sat and had lunch in the cafeteria, and he told me, he says, and he has this real German, you know, this real German accent, where he wasn't accepting me talking. But he told me, he said, it's not camera. The cameras are great. He said, and it's not the lens. He said, look, every lens, like a Nikon or a Canon 35 f2 or 35 1.4 lens, is superb. They're great. What makes our lenses is the contrast. You will not get that contrast in any other lens, and that can be said up until now. There is no lens made, even Hasselblad, that has the contrast of a Leica. So if you think about it, what is contrast got to do with anything? Tonal separation.
Hmm.
Tonal separation, sharpness. You can't have sharpness without contrast.
Hmm.
Take contrast out of a picture, there's no sharpness. So the more contrast you have, the more control, especially digitally. You have more control over the sharpness, over the contrast, the tonal separation. That's where Leica is at. It's in the lenses.
Hmm. And speaking of Leica, man, the coolest Leica store I've ever seen is actually in Kyoto. So you can imagine this like traditional Japanese kind of town.
Yeah.
And right there, I'm just walking. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I was like, oh, big red dot Leica. It's like,
Yeah.
that store
Yeah.
is cool, man. Just like imagine like a old Japanese store, and boom,
Right.
Leica. Really cool.
That's right. Absolutely.
And I think this is
Okay.
our last interviewee. This is Ines Maria.
And I'll tell you, I absolutely adore her. I absolutely adore her. She is so soft and gentle of a woman. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And in her own way, kind of like insecure in a way that, you know, she's not used to people looking at her work and accepting it. And I pretty much insisted she do the interview, and she agreed. She trusted me. And I'll tell you what, her work is fabulous. Fabulous. Love her stuff.
Well,
Got
I
to read her
checked it.
interview.
I'm just kidding. You know, the thing is like what I like is consistency. She's frighteningly consistent in all
Oh,
the
yeah.
images.
Oh.
You know, all the images are consistent. There's always like repeated elements. She just
Yeah.
like she responds to repeated elements like crazy. You know.
Well, you know, do you know Olga Korlovac in our group? She was in the magazine too. She's a very popular, you know, hot shooter. You know, Olga is that way too. She's very consistent in her approach. Now, I will say it's not just Inez and Olga, but the women shooters that we have published and that we have in the group, the women shooters are the ones to look out for, because they're the ones that are they're ballsy, man. I mean, they're bold, and they got
some of them totally are.
Oh yeah, and strong work, you know. So I don't want to hear, oh, she's a woman, shouldn't be doing. I don't want to hear that. Don't you tell me that. You know what I mean? I had a mother and a daughter. You know, I don't want to hear it.
Was it Karen Rose that would be issue all the way issue 1? Yeah, there's some of them are really ballsy, man.
Oh yeah,
I'll have to agree.
yeah.
I'll have
And
to agree.
Sarah, you know, Sarah's work is impeccable, just perfect. Sarah Laurie. Ooh. And Nikki Boone. I'm working on Nikki Boone's work now on an edit. Nikki is,
You know all of them by heart, man. You know,
Oh yeah, well, you know,
I remember the photos.
I remember the interviews because I did them. I remember the people. You know, I mean, but look at this. You know,
Yeah, this is
that's amazing, man.
that's one of those shots. Like I looked at it, I'm like, man, I am so jealous. I want that. You know,
That's
because
funny.
you said the same thing. You know, I like that. I like that. You know, because when I see an image that I'm jealous of, that means I don't have it. You know, so
Yeah.
that means there's something to look towards. You know, that means I didn't conceive of an image like that or something that's inspired by that. So when I look at this image, it's like the guy's like at the edge of eternity, and it looks like it's a reflection of the water, of course. But
Yeah.
it doesn't look like water. It looks like it's the reflection of eternity. You know, it's like on the edge of the precipice of time.
Right. The beauty of the Inspired Eye magazine, the real beauty of not the fact that we make it, because that's our technical, we're the plumbers, you know. The beauty of the Inspired Eye magazine is the simple fact that when you see work and read interviews, they're from people all around the world in different parts of the world, different genders. You know what I mean? So when you look at this, I mean, look, I'm never going to see this photo. Well, I'm not going to be able to make it ever. I mean, it doesn't have to. I mean, I would love to, but it's here. But that doesn't mean that's not inspiring me somehow. I'm not afraid to admit it. If I see something like that, I'm going to find it. I'm going to look for it because I just love the way that photo works. And the feelings and the emotions of that and the thoughts, it's cataloged in my brain. But the thing is, you're not going to see that in Philadelphia. You're not going to see it in Seoul, Korea. You're not going to see it in New York. You're not going to see it in Chicago. You're not going to see it in Rome, Italy. So the thing is, that's the beauty of the Inspired Eye. You're seeing things, you know, from all around the world that you won't see in your own region. And you see how people responded to it, and that inspires you. Because if you did walk down the street and say, wow, look at that, you know, just like I was saying, Oliver, that, you know, we had a conversation a couple of times about your work really is reflective of Gene Smith, that he would be very, very happy with your work because it's kind of like you were born from Gene Smith in your own way. Well, someone's going to, I mean, maybe in a couple issues say, wow, that really reminds me of a Maria, a Nez Maria. You know what I mean? And that's the key. That's the key to everything. That's what the Inspired Eye is, the Inspired Eye. You don't get that anymore. I'm not trying to sell the magazine and plug it. I'm really not. It sells itself. You know that. I'm just saying the beauty of it is the fact that we have people from all around the world that will inspire you.
Well, the one thing about inspiration is like take any like art like from the for example from the Renaissance period, and the very interesting thing is basically what there's a group of people. Usually, each one of these people have been kind of were inspired by a previous artist. You know what I mean? So you're looking at, for example, a painting, and there's like five people. This guy's pause is from, this other artist. This girl's pause is from another artist, and
Right.
bringing it together and making this wonderful piece of art, original piece
Right.
of art.
Right.
So while you and I probably won't find this exactly how it is in that situation ever, well, never say never, but you get it. We won't find this, but we could be inspired for example, by the composition or by the concept or something else.
The point.
So, and whenever you make your own shot, it's going to be yours.
Right.
It's not going to be Innocent Maria's shot.
Yeah. She really has an eye, and she's ballsy enough to put it out there. I mean, these are outstanding. I got to be honest. I mean, I've been a photographer well over 50 years and done a lot of work. I got stuff in galleries, collectors, museums, and I would not have released a shutter on these two frames. There's just no way. I wouldn't even have looked up to those buildings. I wouldn't have done it.
Well, and why is that?
Because I knew in the future she was going to do it, and I would just enjoy looking at her photos. I didn't say I wasn't a time traveler. I just said,
Mm.
no, it's just that's what this is like her soul. This is her soul. This isn't just like her photos. It's her soul. It's like all of it's her soul, and it's kind of like you standing there nude, putting your work in a magazine that millions and millions and millions of people are eventually going to see. It's kind of like you're standing there nude, like, I hope it's okay. I hope they like it, And I think that's pretty damn ballsy.
And look at this on the left. Look at that bird.
I know.
Very single element just breaks the whole pattern there. And on the right, I mean, look at this battle between light and dark.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's stuck between a beautiful scene.
Real nice. I don't get out at night like I used to. I used to get out a lot at nighttime. This is beautiful too. I just don't get out a lot at night anymore, and I miss that.
This one is actually really interesting because most of the similar shots previously were dark, and this one was just light and wavy and like very texture rich.
But the subjects are dark.
Like these, like those are darker.
You kidding, man? She's like,
but
really?
This one is trippy though because it looks like those what's it called, like the toy effect, and she almost trapped in her environment. And this one, the woman is going either out or in, but she's going somewhere. And this one, that person looks trapped.
Yeah, they're real nice, man. Woo.
And that is it for today. Yep, 48 issue. And we're actually hard at work on issue 49. So, any closing comments, bro?
Yeah, I think we're still accepting submissions for interviews. I mean, I seek people out, but I do not reject anybody that sends me a question. A few people have been already. So, if you're interested in getting in the magazine, just send me a note. Don't bother Oliver. He's the plumber. And I bother him almost daily about fixing this and doing that and doing this. So let's keep the weight off of him. Plus, he's got a wife and two kids. The kids are beautiful, very well behaved. You tell them to sit on the couch and watch TV. They don't get off the whole day. They'll just sit there and watch TV. They're very well mannered and behaved. Yeah.
Actually, I mean, like imagine a stranger. And my kid just walks up to her and basically lays down my whole life. And he's like, yeah, I don't like I don't like it at night because mommy and daddy close the door and they want to have mama and papa time. I was like
we're making you a little brother. Leave me alone.
No, dude, this the thing is like, the girl's like, yeah, mama and papa time. I was like, dude, I'm just watching movies, man. It's the only time I get to watch something.
That's right.
It's true. It's really true. And it's like the girl's like, yeah, I believe you. It's like,
it's funny. The kids are funny. They're really fun, man.
Yeah. Anyways, actually, it's gonna be his birthday soon, so Yep.
My daughter's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Bethany.
Happy birthday. Anyways, guys, we hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes of issue 48. See you next time, guys.
Okay, take care. Be blessed.